Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. 2,000 points, 1,000 suns out of Traitor Legions versus Khorne Demons. We are going to be playing Cleanse and Control, which is one of the tactical objectives missions on this windswept fortification area on the Highlands. The objectives are placed in each of the buildings. We have 6 of those per the normal rules, and we will be generating 3 tactical objectives at the beginning of each of our turns. This uses Vanguard Strike deployment, so the 1,000 Suns will be in this corner, and the Khorne Demons will be opposite them. We will be right back with the armies. First up, we have the Khorne Demons. We are running a Demon Lord to begin our demonic incursion, which is our Bloodthirster here. He rolled up the Blade of Blood, a 4+ Feel No Pain, and an Axe of Khorne for his demonic rewards. Next up, we have a Murder Horde, which is being led by Skulltaker. He is on a Juggernaut, and he is joined by 5 Blood Crushers with an icon and a banner of blood and an instrument. He has 3 squads of 10 Bloodletters in his cohort. They all have a banner of blood and an instrument. And then to finish it off, we have 4 squads of 6 Flesh Hounds. That is the Murder Horde. And then for our auxiliary, we have the Soul Grinder formation, 3 Soul Grinders of Khorne. So that is the Khorne army. We will be right back with the 1,000 Suns. Next we have the 1,000 Suns.
So I will be playing a Grand Coven detachment. The War Cabal will be led by Ahriman and a Standard Sorcerer. We'll put the psychic powers and everything up in the description below the video because there are a whole lot of them. It'd take forever to get through it in the videos here. Filling out the War Cabal is 2 squads of 5 rubrics, and each of those sergeants has Melt-A-Bombs, and then a squad of 5 Terminators. Then for my first auxiliary, I have a Zangor Warherd. They are led by a Standard Sorcerer, and there are 4 squads of 10 Zangors. Then for my next 2 auxiliaries, I have 2 individual Predators with twin-link las cannon turrets, and my final 3 are individual Mauler Fiends.
Alright, so that is the 1,000 Suns. You've seen the armies and you have seen the table. We will be back as these 2 forces of chaos get stuck into the Maelstrom. Alright, deployment is complete. The armies are set up with the exception of 1 Bloodletter squad, which is in Deep Strike Reserve, and 2 Zangor squads for the 1,000 Suns that will be outflanking, and 1 squad of 5 rubrics that will be coming on from the longboard edge from Standard Reserve. Demons did deploy first. We have Bloodletters and 2 squads of Hounds on the flank. The 3 Soul Grinders and the Blood Crushers in the middle with 1 squad of Bloodletters in support to defile that building. The Bloodthirster and the other 2 squads of Hounds. That is the Khorne deployment. For the 1,000 Suns, we have a Predator here and a Predator here. Then Ahriman and his guys are back here at the edge of the flank with the Zangors in front of them. We've got a squad of Rubrics and another squad of Zangors here. And then to finish things off, the Mauler Fiends are across the front on this flank. So that is deployment. The Demons are going to scout, and then we will roll for initiative. Scout moves are complete as the Hounds of Khorne begin their advance towards the prey. They move up here along the front to consolidate towards the central part of the enemy army. Would the 1,000 Suns like to seize? Okay, so they're going to bypass on that. Khorne Demons will have the first turn, and we will be back. Alright, Khorne Demons have finished up turn 1. The Hounds did a general advance, formed an electric fence around there, and moved up here and took as good a cover as they could. The Skull Crushers, or Blood Crushers rather, moved up here and took cover behind the central ruins. Soul Grinders moved up, and the 2 Bloodletter squads stuck around to defile these objectives. Bloodthirster also swung to the flank down here. That was the movement phase. During the shooting phase, we called down Rot, Glorious Rot, but Nurgle unfortunately did not hate these 1,000 Suns very much. No hit scored there. But for the Soul Grinders, we did some pretty good shooting. The first Soul Grinder scored a hit on this Mauler Fiend and punched a weapon out of one of them. I forget, all the flame shots came down here. And when the smoke cleared from the Warp Blast, 2 of the 1,000 Suns were dead, and both Mauler Fiends were left at 1 whole point with 1 of each of their power fists sheared off. So no points scored, but some significant damage done there to his walkers. The 1,000 Sun rebuttal is coming up. We will be back after their first turn. Thousand Sons have completed their turn up to the assault phase, and in a surprising twist of events, they are going to launch the first charges. The three Mauler Fiends have all moved up here to launch their assault against the Bloodthirster. The Zangors here moved up to launch a charge against the dogs here on the front. These guys during the psychic phase took endurance, so they will have a 4+ feel no pain for that combat. Give them a chance to stick in there for a while. Down here, these guys moved up just to general advance. Also, these Marines moved up. One of them fired and punched a hole in the Bloodthirster through 4+ Jink and 4+ feel no pain, so that guy knows where to aim his bolter. Then the two Predators, this one fired here and did nothing. The second one fired here, scored a penetrating hit, and immobilized this Soul Grinder. So we have an epic showdown showing up here in the first turn assault phase. Khorne is pleased with his Tzeentch rivals. We will be back once the results of this grisly melee have been concluded. Alright, the assault phase did not go as planned. Down here, pretty well what we expected. Invisible Guy was missed, but the Bloodthirster did destroy the other Mauler Fiend. So drawn combat there as the Bloodthirster lost 1 wound in the process. Down here, however, these guys charged in. The Hounds managed a whopping 4 wounds that did nothing. 2 of the 6-up invols were made, 2 feel no pains. And then, despite the fact that he failed his fear check, he did 6 wounds, of which I failed all the invols, and then lost everybody on instability. So first blood did go to him because that was the first combat. They consolidated away from this pathetic failure squad of Huntsman dogs. But we still got plenty of melee and carnage to go. Just getting started here in the first turn, so we will be back after the demons take their second go. Demons turn 2, we are up to the assault phase. Everything continued its general advance. The final squad of Bloodletters did deep strike in and run here. In the shooting phase, we rolled up Possession. We tried to throw it on a Sorcerer. We got a randomly allocated roll to this Sorcerer, but he did pass with a 9, I believe. So he's still in the fight. The Soul Grinders, however, did repeat of what they did last turn, only a little better. Killed all 3 of the Rubrics that were still alive here, and wiped out the War Cabal, or the Warherd Sorcerer, and 9 of his Zangors. The last guy decided that was enough nonsense for him, and he is running. We charged the Blood Crushers through cover into this one unengaged Mauler Fiend. I have a feeling that's going to go badly for both of us, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we got enough attacks there to bring him down. These dogs went into Ahriman and his Terminators, and these Fleshhounds charged the Predator here. So that's... Oh, and then we charged the Endurance guys here. We're going to go for a round 2. Hopefully they're a little less resilient than last time. So we'll be back after the Blood God's assault phase comes to an end. Khorne Demon assault phase rolls to an end. These hounds did what they do best and destroyed this Predator. These hounds did not do what I intended. I was trying to speed bump Ahriman, hold him in melee for a turn. Instead, I just gave him a full squad of hounds. Rolled an 11 twice on my instability and lost all of them. Ahriman's guys consolidated up. The Zangors, however, decided they weren't going to play at all. Apparently, Endurance wore off early since there were so many brass collars in the area. 8 of them were ripped to shreds. The other 2 tried to run and were cut down mercilessly as the hounds continued their advance into the trench system. Back here, the Blood Crushers charged in, scored the maximum number of hits, lost 3 Blood Crushers before Skulltaker finally managed to lop the head off of this Mauler Fiend. And back here, the Invisible Mauler Fiend punched 1 more hole in the Bloodthirster before the Bloodthirster missed again in return because of invisibility. But the Invisible Sorcerer is dead, so he has 1 more chance to bring this Bloodthirster down before the Bloodthirster chops him to ribbons. That is the end of Khorne Demon's turn 2. The Tzeentch response is coming up. Alright, the Thousand Sons are through with their shooting phase. They got the second squad of Rubrics from reserve. They came on here, fired their bolters to massive effect. 5 wounds, but I made 4 of the 5 5-ups. Down here, 1 squad of Zangors made their outflank and came on here to score the be within 12 inches of my edge tactical objective that he generated this turn. The Soul Grinder in the middle drew the ire of the surviving Predator to no effect, and Hemorrhage was cast on these guys. They took 2 toughness tests, failed them both, and then made both of the invul saves, and nothing happened. Ahriman then tried to fire his beam-powered Doom Bolt through here. The Hounds were able to deny that. And then Psychic Shriek was thrown 3 times here in an attempt to get his... he's got the objective active where he gets D3 points if he manifests 3 different types of psychic powers. He got the Malediction and the Blessing off, fired Witchfire at the dogs and was cancelled, and fired it here at them 3 times. 1 of the Psychic Shrieks went off, and I managed to deny the Witch there as well. So held him short of that objective just slightly. Armin and his guys then, out of spite and rage, shot these hounds up, killed 2, wounded 1, and that was the end of their shooting phase. We're going into the assault phase, and we will be back after the Thousand Sons have struck their blows. Thousand Sons assault phase. Armin and his guys attempted a multi-lock. They were going to try to get the magic number, get these guys and the hounds up here locked up. Rolled 2 1s and could not make it through cover to their primary target, so they had to stand still, unfortunately. This sorcerer charged in and punched 1 dog out. The dogs failed to do anything in return. Failed their first instability check, but rolled a 3 on the second one, so they're going to be sitting in combat with him for the coming turn. Down here, scored 2 wounds on the Bloodthirster, felled both invols, but then made both of the feel no pains. Apparently, though, he did knock me on my keister when he hit me, though, because I did nothing in return. 3 penetrating hits with the Destroyer Axe, but he made all 3 invols. So we're still locked up there. That is the end of Thousand Sons turn 2. We will be back as the Khorne demons respond. Khorne demons turn 2. We rolled up possession again and again. Instead of going away, I figured Khorne is trying to tell me something. We randomly selected a psyker, pulling Armin, and he made his check as well. So we're trying to turn them into Khorne demons, but it just ain't working. However, we then shot the 3 soul grinders here, and in an abysmal bit of luck, he lost 3 Terminators and Armin through 2 failed lookouts. He shrugged the first one, but the second one blew him to pieces. So horrible luck there. 3 of the Terminators and Armin went down to the 3 soul grinders. That's insane. The Bloodletters moved over to assault here, and the squad in the back moved over to try to attack the newly arrived Zangors. And finally, Skulltaker and his guys moved around to try to help out here against the Mauler Fiend. These hounds are obviously charging into the Predator, doing what they continue to do best. That is the end of the shooting. Khorne assault phase coming up. Khorne demons have wrapped up their turn 3 assault phase, and at that point, the Thousand Sons are going to go ahead and call the game. The Bloodletters down here charged in, killed 6 of the Zangors. The other 4 punched out 2 Bloodletters in return, but then failed their morale check and were cut down when they tried to run. Down here, the 19 Bloodletters charged in, put 28 wounds on the Thousand Sons, killed all of them. But 3 Bloodletters died in the process. They moved around to despoil this objective once more. These hounds lost another one of their members to the sorcerer, but wounded him twice. He failed both armor saves and died along with his buddy. These 2 consolidated over here to corrupt this building. And these hounds charged in, and in a first for me, failed to do much of anything. They did 1 damage point, but did stun the tank to prevent it from shooting in the following turn. Down here, Skulltaker and his buddies charged in to help, and it is a good thing they did. Between the 2 of them, they managed 1 glancing hit. The Mauler Fiend put 3 more wounds in the Bloodthirster, felled 2 of the invols, and made the 2 feel no pains again. When he rolls that 4 up feel no pain, he just feels unstoppable. With his axe, he managed to get 1 hit through, or 2 hits, one of which did damage, and he failed his invol on there. He did not explode, but he was destroyed. So at that point, the Khorne demons stand triumphant over the table. That will be a victory for the demons. We will have after-action reviews and army lists at the blog as always. Give us a like on Facebook, and a subscription on YouTube helps us know that you're watching, gets our videos where more of you can see them. We appreciate all of you who have subscribed in recent weeks. It's been a blessing for us, and we're glad that you guys have done that. We hope you stick with us as we continue on this crazy journey. And as always, thank you for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.